Why alcohol, or alcohol as you all put it, is haram for Arabs. This is an untold story. Alcohol, a drink that has shaped cultures, inspired art, and destroyed lives. But for over 1.9 billion Muslims around the world, it's not just a drink, it's a forbidden substance. A single word in the Quran, haram, has kept generations of Muslims away from it. But why? What's the story behind this prohibition? Is it purely religious, or is there more to it? Today, we're journeying deep into the mysteries, the history, and the science behind why alcohol, or alcohol, is haram in Islam. Today, we're not just talking about a drink. We're talking about a story that begins long before Islam, in the lively, busy, and entertaining markets of pre-Islamic Arabia, where wine flowed freely and poets sang its praises. A story that winds through the verses of the Quran, where the prohibition of alcohol was revealed step by step, like a puzzle coming together. And a story that continues today, in a world where alcohol is both celebrated and feared. But this isn't just about religion. This is about the human soul, about discipline, clarity, and the unseen consequences of indulgence. A substance so powerful it can alter your mind, cloud your judgment, and destroy families. A drink that has been celebrated in poetry, glorified in art, yet cursed for the chaos it leaves behind. For centuries, alcohol has been a symbol of indulgence, rebellion, and escape. But for Muslims, it is something far more profound. A forbidden poison, haram, a word that carries the weight of divine command. But why? Why does Islam take such a firm stance against something so deeply embedded in human history? Have you ever wondered why something so common, so accepted in much of the world, is seen as a danger in Islam? Is it just about faith? Or is there a deeper wisdom, one that science, history, and even personal experience can't ignore? Today, we're going to uncover the truth, the facts, the mysteries, and the lessons that alcohol has taught humanity. And by the end of this journey, you might just see this forbidden drink in a way you never have before. Welcome to today's video, where we'll uncover the fascinating reasons behind Islam's stance on alcohol. From its role in pre-Islamic Arabia to the scientific evidence that supports its prohibition, we'll explore every angle of it to bring light to your eyes. And trust me, there are some surprising facts and mysteries you've probably never heard of before. So grab a cup of tea, or maybe just water, and let's get started. Before the light of Islam illuminated the Arabian Peninsula, the land was a place of extremes, a place where honor and hospitality thrived, but so did chaos and indulgence. Among the many vices that ruled the hearts of men, one stood out: wine. It wasn't just a drink, it was a way of life, a symbol of status, a source of inspiration, and, for many, an escape from the harsh realities of the desert. In pre-Islamic Arabia, wine was celebrated in poetry and song. The great poets of the time, known as the Mu'allaqat, often praised its intoxicating effects. They called it the key to courage, the nectar of joy. It was said that a man could drink to forget his sorrows, to fuel his bravery in battle, or to find inspiration for his verses. But behind the glamour of wine, there was always a darker side. Drunken brawls were common, often ending in bloodshed. Families were torn apart by violence and neglect, and for many, the temporary escape offered by alcohol came at a devastating cost. One story tells of a man who, in a drunken rage, gambled away his entire fortune, leaving his family destitute. Another speaks of a warrior who, under the influence of wine, killed his own brother in a senseless fight. These were not isolated incidents. They were the reality of a society where alcohol ruled the hearts of men. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, began his mission, he didn't just bring a new religion, he brought a revolution of the heart, the mind, and the soul. But change doesn't happen overnight. The people of Arabia were deeply attached to their traditions, their vices, and their way of life. And among these, Alcohol was one of the hardest habits to break. The Prophet understood this. He knew that transformation required patience, wisdom, and above all, compassion. And so, the prohibition of alcohol came not as a sudden command, but as a gradual process, a journey of the soul. The first step came in the form of a gentle warning. A verse was revealed. They ask you about wine and gambling. Say, "In them is great sin and some benefit for people, but their sin is greater than their benefit." Quran 2:219. It was a seed planted in their hearts, a reminder that what they loved could also harm them. For some, it was enough to give up alcohol entirely, but for others, the struggle continued. Then came the second revelation. After a tragic incident where a group of companions, drunk, began to argue and fight, Allah revealed, "O you who have believed, do not approach prayer while you are intoxicated until you know what you are saying." Quran 4:43. The message was clear. Alcohol clouded the mind, and a clouded mind could not connect with the divine. For the believers, this was a turning point. Many began to limit their drinking, avoiding it before prayer. But the final command had yet to come. And then the final command came. "O you who have believed, indeed intoxicants, gambling, sacrificing on stone altars to other than Allah, and divining arrows are but defilement from the work of Satan, so avoid it that you may be successful." Quran 5:90. The believers didn't hesitate. They poured their wine into the streets, letting it flow like rivers. For them, obedience wasn't just about rules, it was about trust. Trust in the wisdom of their Creator. Trust that what was forbidden was for their own good. The prohibition of alcohol wasn't just about individual behavior, it was about building a better society. A society where clarity replaced confusion, where discipline replaced indulgence, and where faith replaced despair. For the early Muslims, giving up alcohol wasn't a sacrifice, it was a liberation. In Islam, life is more than just existence. It's a journey of the soul, striving for purity, clarity, and connection with the divine. Every action, every word, and every thought is a step on this path. But there are obstacles, things that cloud the mind, corrupt the heart, and pull the soul away from its Creator. Among these, alcohol stands as one of the greatest threats, not just to the body, but to the very essence of who we are. Purity is at the heart of Islam. It's not just about physical cleanliness. It's about the purity of the mind, the heart, and the soul. The Quran says, "Indeed, Allah loves those who are constantly repentant and loves those who purify themselves." Quran 2 verses 222. Every act of worship begins with purification. A reminder that to connect with Allah, we must first cleanse ourselves of anything that taints our being. But alcohol is the opposite of purity. It clouds the mind, dulls the senses, and corrupts the heart. It takes away the clarity that is essential for worship, for reflection, and for living a life of purpose. In Islam, the mind is a sacred gift, a tool for understanding, for decision-making, and for connecting with the divine. To willingly impair it is to turn away from this gift. Science has shown us what Islam has always taught, that alcohol doesn't just affect the body, it affects the mind and the soul. It impairs judgment, weakens self-control, and fuels impulsive behavior. The Quran describes intoxicants as the work of Satan, saying, "Satan only wants to cause between you animosity and hatred through intoxicants and gambling, and to avert you from the remembrance of Allah and from prayer. So will you not desist?" Quran 5 verses 91. Alcohol doesn't just cloud the mind, it weighs down the soul. It creates a barrier between the individual and their Creator, pulling them away from prayer, from reflection, and from the peace that comes with faith. For many, it becomes a cycle of regret and despair, a constant struggle to find clarity in the fog of intoxication. A man, Abdul, who was once entangled in alcohol's web, once gave a testimony. He said, "I thought alcohol would help me escape my problems, but it only made them worse. I lost my family, my dignity, and my connection with Allah. It wasn't until I gave it up that I began to feel alive again. Prayer became my refuge, and for the first time in years, I felt peace. Self-control is one of the core principles of Islam. It's what allows a person to resist temptation, to choose what is right over what is easy, and to stay on the path of righteousness. The Quran says, "And those who strive for us, we will surely guide them to our ways. And indeed, Allah is with the doers of good." Quran 29 verses 69. Islam teaches that true strength isn't in physical power. It's in the ability to control one's desires, to say no to what is harmful even when it's tempting. Alcohol, with its allure of escape and pleasure, is one of the greatest tests of this strength. And for those who overcome it, the reward is not just in this life, but in the afterlife. Self-control isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about creating a life of balance, peace, and fulfillment. A life where the mind is clear, the heart is pure, and the soul is free to connect with its Creator. For Muslims, giving up alcohol isn't a restriction, it's a liberation, a way to live with purpose, with clarity, and with love for Allah. One man, Yusuf, a successful businessman, once said that alcohol was his greatest weakness. It started with a drink at a party, then another, and another. Before he knew it, he was drinking every night, using it to cope with stress, with loneliness, with the emptiness he felt inside. He said, "I thought I was in control, but the truth is, it controlled me." But one night, he walked into a mosque. He sat in the back, listening to the imam talk about the power of repentance, the mercy of Allah, and the strength that comes from faith. That night he made a decision. He poured out every bottle he owned, and he turned to Allah for help. He said, "It wasn't easy, but every time I prayed, I felt stronger. Every time I resisted, I felt closer to Allah." Today he says that giving up alcohol didn't just save his life, it saved his soul. In Islam, the prohibition of alcohol isn't just about rules, it's about wisdom. It's about protecting the mind, purifying the soul, and strengthening the heart. It's about living a life of clarity, discipline, and connection with Allah. For Muslims, saying no to alcohol isn't a loss, it's a victory of the soul over the self, a victory of faith over temptation, and of love for Allah over everything else. So, what do you think? Is the prohibition of alcohol just a rule, or is it a gift? A gift that protects the mind, the heart, and the soul? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's talk about the physical effects of alcohol on the body. When alcohol enters the body, it is processed by the liver, a vital organ responsible for detoxifying harmful substances. But alcohol is no ordinary toxin. Over time, it overwhelms the liver, leading to a condition known as cirrhosis. Scar tissue replaces healthy cells, and the liver slowly loses its ability to function. For many, this damage is irreversible. Alcohol doesn't stop at the liver, it attacks the brain, impairing memory, judgment, and decision-making. Long-term use can shrink the brain, leading to cognitive decline and an increased risk of dementia. And for those who drink heavily, the damage can begin as early as their 20s. The effects don't end there. Alcohol raises your blood pressure, weakens your heart, and increases the risk of stroke. It damages the stomach lining, leading to ulcers and internal bleeding. And it's a known carcinogen linked to cancers of the mouth, throat, liver, and breast. Remember, for every sip, the body pays a price. But the damage isn't just physical. Alcohol takes a devastating toll on mental health. It's a depressant, meaning it slows down brain activity and disrupts the balance of chemicals that regulate mood. For many, what begins as a way to escape stress or sadness becomes a trap, a cycle of addiction, anxiety, and depression. A woman once gave an account of how alcohol almost destroyed her life. She narrated, "I started drinking to cope with my divorce. At first it helped me forget. But then, it became the only thing I could think about. I lost my job, my friends, and almost my life. I thought I was in control, but the truth is, alcohol was the master of my soul." As you can see, Stories like hers are all too common. Alcohol addiction or alcoholism affects millions of people worldwide. It destroys relationships, careers, and lives. And for many, the road to recovery is long and painful. Dear listener, try as much as possible to stay away from it. Over the years, countless studies have confirmed what Islam has always taught. Alcohol is harmful. The World Health Organization has classified alcohol as one of the leading causes of preventable death worldwide. It's responsible for over 3 million deaths every year, more than AIDS, tuberculosis, and violence combined. Research has shown that even moderate drinking can increase the risk of cancer and heart disease, and for heavy drinkers, the risks multiply. Alcohol-related illnesses cost governments billions of dollars in healthcare and lost productivity every year. But the true cost, the human cost, can't be measured in numbers. For every statistic, there's a story. A father lost to liver failure, a mother killed by a drunk driver, a child born with fetal alcohol syndrome. These are the hidden victims of alcohol, a poison that takes more than it gives. In Muslim-majority countries where alcohol consumption is limited or prohibited, the benefits are clear. Studies have shown that these countries have lower rates of alcohol-related diseases, accidents, and deaths. The absence of alcohol creates a healthier, safer environment, not just for individuals, but for entire communities. In contrast, countries where alcohol is widely consumed, the consequences are stark. Alcohol is a leading cause of traffic accidents, domestic violence, and crime. Hospitals are overwhelmed with patients suffering from alcohol-related illnesses, and the social cost, broken families, lost productivity, and strained healthcare systems, is staggering. The numbers speak for themselves. In countries where alcohol is restricted, the rates of liver disease, drunk driving fatalities, and alcohol-related violence are significantly lower. It's a testament to the wisdom of Islam's prohibition, a rule that protects not just the individual, but society as a whole. A man narrated his story to our team of researchers. He said, "When I moved to a Muslim country, I didn't think I could give up drinking. It had been a part of my life for so long. But the environment here changed me. Without the constant temptation, I found it easier to quit. And as I learned more about Islam, I began to understand why alcohol is forbidden. It's not a restriction, it's a protection, a way to live a better, healthier life." There you have it. His story is a reminder that change is possible, that a life without alcohol isn't just healthier, it's happier. For Muslims, the prohibition of alcohol isn't a burden, it's a blessing, a gift that protects the body, the mind, and the soul. Modern science has confirmed what Islam has always known. Alcohol is a poison. It harms the body, clouds the mind, and weighs down the soul. For Muslims, saying no to alcohol isn't just about obedience. It's about wisdom. It's about choosing health over harm, clarity over confusion, and faith over temptation. Now let's talk about alcohol's role in the society. Alcohol is more than just a personal choice. It's a societal problem. Studies show that alcohol is a major factor in violent crimes, including assault, domestic violence, and even murder. In fact, nearly 40% of violent crimes worldwide are committed under the influence of alcohol. It doesn't stop there. Alcohol is a leading cause of traffic accidents, claiming over 1 million lives every year. It's a common thread in cases of child abuse, neglect, and family breakdown. And for many, the damage it causes lasts for generations. Social worker once told our team in a very shaky voice, as if she was in fear. She said, "I've seen families destroyed by alcohol, children growing up in fear, spouses living with constant abuse. It's heartbreaking. And the worst part is, it's preventable. If alcohol wasn't a part of their lives, so much of this pain could be avoided." In Islamic societies where alcohol is prohibited, the absence of this substance creates a different kind of environment. Streets are safer, families are stronger, and communities thrive without the shadow of alcohol-related problems. Without alcohol, celebrations take on a different meaning. Joy comes from connection, from faith, and from shared experiences, not from intoxication. Weddings, festivals, and gatherings are filled with laughter and love, free from the chaos that alcohol often brings. In these societies, the absence of alcohol doesn't mean the absence of fun. It means a life lived with clarity, with purpose, and with a focus on what truly matters. It's a reminder that happiness doesn't come from a bottle, it comes from within. The contrast between Islamic and Western views on alcohol couldn't be more stark. In the West, alcohol is often seen as a symbol of freedom, a way to relax, and a key part of social life. But this freedom comes at a cost paid in lives lost, families broken, and communities damaged. In Islamic societies, the prohibition of alcohol is seen not as a restriction, but as a protection, a way to safeguard the mind, the body, and the soul. It's a rule rooted in wisdom, designed to create a healthier, safer, and more harmonious society. Islam teaches us that true freedom comes from self-control. By saying no to alcohol, we free ourselves from its harms, its temptations, and its ability to cloud our judgment. It's not about what we're giving up, it's about what we're gaining. As we are at it, do you know there are some mysteries and lesser-known facts about alcohol? Did you know that the word alcohol has its roots in the Arabic word al-kuhul? In pre-Islamic times, al-kuhul referred to a fine powder used as eyeliner. Over time, the term evolved to describe the process of distillation, which was pioneered by Muslim chemists during the Islamic Golden Age. Muslim scholars like Jabir ibn Hayyan, known as the father of chemistry, were among the first to refine the process of distillation. Their work laid the foundation for modern chemistry, including the production of alcohol. But while they advanced the science, they also understood its dangers. For them, knowledge was a tool to benefit humanity, not to harm it. When the final prohibition of alcohol was revealed, the companions of the Prophet didn't hesitate. They poured out their wine, letting it flow like rivers through the streets of Medina. For them, obedience wasn't just about rules, it was about trust in the wisdom of their Creator. An Islamic scholar once told a group, "One of the most surprising facts about alcohol in Islamic history is how quickly and completely it was abandoned." In a society where wine was deeply ingrained in the culture, the prohibition was met not with resistance, but with acceptance. It's a testament to the power of faith and the transformative nature of Islam. We've explored the role of alcohol in pre-Islamic Arabia, where it was both celebrated and feared. We've seen how Islam, with its gradual and compassionate approach, guided its followers away from this harmful substance. We've uncovered the scientific and societal consequences of alcohol, how it damages the body, clouds the mind, and tears apart families. And we've heard the stories of those who found freedom and peace by leaving it behind. We've compared the lives of those who live without alcohol to those who suffer its consequences. And we've uncovered the mysteries of its history, from its etymology in the Arabic word al-kuhul to the transformative power of faith in overcoming its grip. Now this is a reflective question to you, my dear listener. Take a moment to reflect on this. What would the world look like if alcohol didn't exist? Try to picture a world where families are stronger, streets are safer, and minds are clearer. A world where joy comes from connection, not intoxication. Where celebrations are filled with laughter, not regret. Where lives are lived with purpose, clarity, and peace. What do you think? Could we create a world like that? A world where alcohol isn't a part of the picture? I want to hear your thoughts. What would change? What would stay the same? And how can we, as individuals, contribute to a better, healthier, and more harmonious society? Do you have a story about yourself or a loved one you would love to share concerning how alcohol has done worse than good? Tell us in the comments section. This will help engage others to learn. Let's start a conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us your stories, your reflections, and your hopes for the future. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Who knows, this act could save a life today. Together we can spark a change. One thought, one conversation, one action at a time. What did you learn from this video? For me, alcohol is more than just a drink. It's a test, a lesson, and a choice. For Muslims, the choice is clear: to live a life of clarity, discipline, and connection with the divine. But this choice isn't just for Muslims, It's for anyone who seeks a better, healthier, and more meaningful life. The question is, what will you choose? Share your views. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel, give the video a thumbs up, share and write your thoughts in the comments section below.